Like I said, I was world champion. I was Mike Tyson's best friend. So everybody treated me pretty good. So,
What the hell were you doing in the cage with Iron Mike's
yeah, I don't know what I done.
What the hell happened there?
My wife rings me the next morning, Jeff, something funny happened. I said, what's wrong? Somebody just sent us an email saying it's Al Pacino. I'll be at the bar or club and stuff like that, and walk down Oxford Street and guys doing karate kicks over my head and fights. And there are three sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and the truth. And not too many people get to hear the truth.
In part 2 of I Catch Killers, we delve deeper into Jeff Fenech's crazy life, getting an understanding of what it takes to become one of the best prize fighters in the world. We also talk about how fame and fortune can also have its downside. Jeff also gives us his thoughts on how the discipline and sense of self-worth could assist young people steer away from crime. I also asked Jeff about some of the famous and bizarre people he's met in his life. Okay, Jeff Fenech, welcome back. Part 2, I Catch Killers.
Always good.
I've enjoyed part 1. During the break, we had a look at the what I would describe as the Hall of Fame, and the Hall of Fame or Wall of Fame. Sorry, Wall of Fame. Lots of people you've met throughout your career. This is, I suppose, part and parcel of achieving what you've achieved in the boxing world and giving you access to some of the most well-known people in the world. So I don't know where to start, but let's pick out Donald Trump. He's fairly topical at the moment. Where did you meet Donald? There's a photo of you and Donald up there on the
Atlantic City, the fights. I was with Mike Tyson. There's another photo of me, Don King and Donald Trump. He happened to beat the fights. A lot of fights are held at the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, and he was there, and it was great to meet him.
What were your impressions of him at the time? That was before he became president.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. Like I said, I was world champion. I was Mike Tyson's best friend, so everybody treated me pretty good. So like I said, people talk to me about my belts, and that belts they don't mean nothing to me. It's the when your peers respect you, that's when you know you made it. When I used to see Marvin Hagler or Ray Leonard or Lennox Lewis or Ty, when they respect you, that's when you know you made it.
And you've just rattled off the legends in the sport.
Roberto, like I said, Roberto Duran loves me. That's when you know you made it.
Yeah.
When other fighters who are legends.
And Roberto Duran, he was one of your favourite fighters, wasn't he?
I loved him. Yeah.
Just his style or
everything about him, but his style was very similar to mine. There's a KO magazine that came out from America saying me on the cover saying the next coming of Roberto Duran, which pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Okay, Mike Tyson. I know you're good friends with Mike, and you also trained him at different points in time. How did you first meet Mike, and what were your impressions of Mike, and how did you make the connection, the friendship?
When I went to fight Nelson.
Zuma Nelson.
Yeah, that was just after I got it. I won an award for the runner-up boxer in the world in the mid-'80s, like 87 or 88 or something like that. And when I got my award, Ray Leonard won Boxer of the Year.
Yeah.
And when I got my award, I was just about to walk down, and Mike Tyson's, Jeff Fenech, my favourite fighter. And like it freaked me out. I didn't care about the award, but I went up, got the award, and we spoke after that. And then when I signed to fight as Zuma Nelson in Las Vegas, we went to the gym where Mike Tyson trained.
Yeah.
And that was the gym we were going to use. So he was there and I was there, and not that we trained at the same time, but we trained, and while he was training, I was always there watching him, and we became very close over the years. And I had the absolute privilege and honour to be in his corner. I mean, like I said, I don't know, nothing can ever pay for that, or nothing ever better for me. He was my friend. I never trained him It wasn't a monetary thing. It was
through friendship.
yeah, it was a friendship, and it wasn't just that. It was that I knew that he was at the end, and I thought if I can get him fit and get him ready properly, or that
Yeah.
because of his punch, he could beat anybody. But back then, it was really, really difficult to do any of that. Like there were weeks where we'd train for 3.5 weeks at a time, and I thought, wow, everything was done properly, and then all of a sudden he'd disappear for a week. So I knew it was never going to be good. Like I think there's a famous story that when he fought one of his fights when I was training him, I'm there for 8 weeks, and a week before the fight, not even a week, maybe 4 or 5 days before the fight, he walks into he doesn't turn up to train him, but he comes in later with a tattoo. And I'm thinking, like, I've never had a tattoo, but I see people saying, when you got a tattoo, you got to take it. So I'm thinking, he's not going to be able to fight. He fights in 3 or 4 days. Anyway, I spoke to him, and he didn't want to fight. It was, like, oh, I don't care if I fight or not. So I jumped on a plane the next day.
Right.
Get all the way home, and so I lose a day because I'm coming back from America, and I watch the news and stuff, and there's Mike Tyson weighing in the fight. He knocks the guy out in the first round. Of course, I wasn't there. I'd done all the preparation for that. And the reason why I left was because I care about him. I didn't think, like I said, I wasn't sure that, you're supposed to.
In the right.
Yeah. Anyway, that happened, and then I ended up training for the fight that he lost, and I threw the towel in. The corner were arguing with me, and I just told him, if you watch the video, I told him, shut the fuck up. I'm the boss here. All I done that was, again, I could see in Mike's eyes that he didn't want to be there. He was there for the wrong reason. So my job as a trainer is to look after himself and well-being, not worry about what people think about him. And I'll never forget after that fight when it was finished and we're walking through the crowd, people are throwing bottles, and I went straight up into the crowd and had a fight with these two guys, just they were throwing bottles, and I mean, that association was most probably one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Being around Mike and being able to declare that he's my friend and we have respect for each other was really, really important. And then being able to meet his wife that he has at the moment, Kiki, and knowing how smart and how much she loves Mike was really important to me. And like I said, prior to the fight, I told he and his family that I wouldn't let him get hurt. I'd look after him. And after the fight, I was a man of my word, and that's who I am. That's what I am.
He's a force of nature, but I would imagine that he respected you for that. There would be a lot of people that wouldn't tell him the truth. They'd just say,
"Yeah, definitely so."
And I think that's probably why he went down the wrong path on different occasions, because he had people around him. So he probably respected having someone that would stand up to him.
Yeah, and I just wish that I was there earlier, but everything in life happens for a reason. Look at him today.
Yeah.
One of the most successful businessmen, public speakers out there, Mike Tyson, doing all that stuff. Who would have ever thought that? Nobody. I did. I've always knew that Mike had this amazing gift. He's got this memory. If you would have met him 20 years ago with me, I'd forget your name, but he'd remember it straight. Hey, Gary, how are you? He's a friend.
There's an intellect to him that is coming out now that I don't think people saw, because they saw him as this beast, this person, this wrecking machine.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of being around him and seeing him, like I said, talk to people and, do all those other things. And I've always knew he was special.
Yeah. Oh, he's left an indelible impression on worldwide.
Oh, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
He's just doing this big advertising campaign about kids in America and obesity, so eating the right food. If anybody's going to tell her, he'd know, because he was quite obese on numerous occasions, but he's always been able to get back to, looking like $1 million like he does today.
Well, people like Mike, that if he's speaking, and yourself, kids are going to listen. That's you got the life experience, and you got the street credibility and all that. Okay, Mike Tyson. Well, let's get back to this. This is easy. What the hell were you doing in the cage with Iron Mike's?
I don't know what I done.
What the hell happened there?
He convinced me. Come on, Jeff, pat him. So I went to pat him. As I pat him, he closes the gate, and I thought, man, I was very, very frightened at the time. And I thought I thought of one thing: if you show a dog that you're scared, he'll bark at you and bite you.
Oh, yeah, chicken shit, Jeff. It's just a tiger.
Yeah, I know. I just try to stand there.
That would have been frightening.
No, it was frightening. I'm like I said, I'm scared of dogs.
Yeah.
So It was a little bit bigger than a dog, and
How long were you in the cage for? And was Mike laughing?
Laughing it off just for 30, 40 seconds, and they got me straight out,
Stuff that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be eaten by a tiger. Who else is memorable? Sylvester Stallone. Just the fact that you got the Rocky thing and meeting him, and what was that like meeting Sylvester Stallone?
It was amazing when he came to Australia. I went to Redfern PCYC, spent time with him. Down there's one of Steve Irwin. I flew first class to him and talked to him. He was the most amazing man. What a most beautiful, humblest man you've ever met. Got off the plane. I want to say goodbye to him. I couldn't notice him. Then all of a sudden he walks over and shakes my hand. I didn't. He had put a mouth guard, a piece in, and it changed. Put a hat on. It changed his total outlook of his face.
What?
Yeah.
Just to get
because,
through the.
Yeah, no, just he said because when he goes out in America, he's like driven mad. Not mad, but
Right.
he's everybody's around him.
Yeah.
And then when I think of things, I'm a huge Rafael Nadal fan, so meeting Rafa was amazing. And like I said, I've just been blessed. I've met so many different people, and
Kenny Rogers up there,
my
your
favourite
favorite singer,
the gambler. And then meeting Muhammad Ali was, on a different level. And
where'd you meet Muhammad?
I met him a few times. I met him at the Olympics in Australia. Then I met him over there, and I was able to get photos with him. And then just before he passed, he was in Cancun, and they wanted me to get photos with him, but I wouldn't do it. I didn't want a photo of him laying in the bed. I didn't want to remember him as that. But apart from that, like I said, I'm just LeBron James is up there. I've met quite a few different people, and for me, I've been blessed. But like I said, when I sit down and think of all the stuff, I never forget the day I met Al Pacino.
Oh, where'd you meet him?
I was in a restaurant in LA, and the owner of the restaurant is sitting with me talking, and Al Pacino walks in, and I thought, wow. I said, can I get a photo? He said, Jeff, in this restaurant, we don't let people get photos. We don't do any of that stuff. We just, I thought to myself, you just got a photo with me and go sign you some gloves. Anyway, I just sat there looking, and of course I wasn't going to do it because I understand, not that I've never stopped anybody from having a photo with me, but just as I was leaving Gary, I start to walk, and he looks at me, I'm thinking, shit, and he says, hey, chump, sit down. So I sat beside him. I got the restaurant owner's gloves that I gave him, and I gave them to Al Pacino, and my wife brings me the next morning, Jeff, something funny said. I said, what's wrong? Somebody just sent us an email saying it's Al Pacino. I said, what do you mean? I said, I met him last night, and she goes, well, he's just written a little thing to us saying thank you for the gloves. He's put them into his pride and place in his lounge room and stuff like that. So that was a real thrill for me because I didn't walk up and say, oh, I'm Jeff Fenech.
Yeah.
He said to me, sit down, champ, and it was pretty.
That's cool.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty good.
How do you walking the street? And I've seen you out in public, and everyone makes a beeline for you or wants to say good day. How do you respond to that?
These days I'm pretty lucky. I've been around everywhere all the time, and unless somebody, and the younger generation don't really know who I am, but I mean, if anybody does, like I said, if I walk outside now and there's a line of 1,000, I won't sign 999. I'll sign 1,000 because, like I said, I'm here in this beautiful house because of whether it be those children today, but their parents or whoever it may be. I'll never forget how I got here. I know how I got here. I worked hard, I did, but the Australian public supported me. Australian businesses sponsored me. I was blessed. I had amazing sponsors here in Australia: Ford, Champion Spark Plugs, Sharp Computers. I've had hundreds and hundreds of sponsors, and Reebok and Tiger and Adidas. I've been blessed, and I'll never forget those people's help they gave me.
Well, I'm glad you look at it that way, Jeff, and it's a healthy way to look at it, isn't it?
For me, it's the only way to look at it.
Yeah,
I don't want to think that I done this all single-handedly. I didn't. I had help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had people who
What
helped me.
about you came in the orbit of Kerry Packer, and what was that like? And James?
The most amazing. I speak to James. Message James, and I message each other all the time. I love James. He's one of my great friends, and his dad was. I don't know how to even say it's on a different level.
Yeah.
Jump on a plane with him, customs come on the plane to you. You get off the plane, the car takes you to the hotel, you have this amazing suite. But like I said, I never took anything for granted. I helped Kerry after he died when he fell off the horse playing polo. And as soon as he was had recovered and stuff, I went and I was his personal trainer, travelled the world with him, and I'll never forget what a generous man he was. I took some of my friends away. Every morning we woke up, we had 5,000 US to spend, and he was just, I don't know, I can't even, he was on a different level to everybody else I've met.
Yeah.
He was the most generous, the most amazing human that I ever met, and his son James isn't exactly like his dad, but he's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. James, if you're James's friend, you're his friend for life, and like I said, I often talk and see him. When he was just here last, I was invited to the Crown to see him, and he treats me as one of his very, very close friends, and I'm proud of that.
About your fitness, you're talking about getting Kerry fit. One thing that I hear Johnny say time and time again, that you were the fittest out of all the boxers he trained, that you'd put in harder than anyone else. And we're talking, with all the people Johnny's trained. But I hear it if he's not talking to me, he's talking to someone else, going, well, no one puts in like Jeff put in. What drove you in that way? And is it physical, mental, or what's the driving force?
I'm the strongest believer in the world that if you prepare properly for something, you can achieve it. Preparation's everything. And I don't know, back then I just, again, wanted to show Johnny that nobody could do what I done. I mean, like I said, I used to go running with the South Sydney footy team. We'd do the stairs through Coogee. By the time they got there, I'd already done the stairs twice, Yeah. I want to be the best ever. I want to show people that nobody could beat me in anything. And whether it was boxing, whether it was running, whether it was I just wanted to, I wanted to be the best at everything that I participated in.
Yeah. So, but your fitness, and I've heard a lot of people say it, and your fighting style is a little bit different to a lot of other people's fighting style. It's a very in-close fighting style.
I think it's different, but like I said, for me, being in close is safer than being. I'd rather be up close, knowing what to do, than being at a distance where we're 50-50 who's going to hit each other.
Who hits?
I kind of believe that where I fought and how I fought was the safest way. And like I said, whether it was 12 rounds, 3 rounds, 15 rounds, whether it was 30 rounds, I know that I could have done 30 rounds any day of the week.
Well, the amount of punches, I look back at your old fights, and it's something, it looks like it's complete. I've got used to watching current fights, and I look at your old fights and how many punches are thrown, and you just got your head buried on someone's chest. And
like I said, I'm a huge Pacquiao fan, and I love Floyd Mayweather. But if you look at their fight total between them, I think they threw like 600 or 700 punches. I used to do that in 3 rounds on my own,
Yeah.
And so, but like I said, that was just my style, and I filtered it.
Yeah.
You got to realise, I had broken hands every fight. Every fight, my hands were damaged. So I thought to myself, if I was worried about them, or if I just tried to box, it wouldn't work. So I tried, and not every one of my punches were even really, really hard. I just threw more punches. I just wore them down. I wish I could have hit him with that many punches as hard as I could. The fights wouldn't have went near the distance. But I had to think of this. I had to use the tools of my trade, and they were both injured. I mean, tell me another fight. Tell me a runner that won 100 metres with a torn hammy.
Well, I do remember the images of whenever the fight finished and your gloves were being taken off.
My hands were this big.
Blown up
I
like
would
balloons.
urinate blood for days.
Yeah. And so was that the mental toughness that got you through on that?
Yeah, well, again, it was preparation, mental.
Yeah.
Everything. I tell everybody, your heart, my heart. Oh, Jeff Fenech, my heart's the same size as everybody else's. We've all got the same size heart. It's this first, Bryce Courtney, first from the head, then from the heart. Yeah. This controls everything. This tells you whether you can do it or whether you can't. This knows if you can do it, whether you can, because you've done it before. This is not gonna lie to you. This just operates because this tells us to operate. Yeah. So anybody that wants to be successful, go out and do the work, put it in, know that you've done it, and your mind will always tell you can do it. And that's what we respond to. Our brain, we respond to what we're being told.
And the lessons, and I'll throw this up just to start the discussion, the lessons I see from boxing, you get rewarded what you put into it. Like you see someone come into a gym and they can't throw a punch and they got nothing, and they turn up each day, and it gradually, it's I think a good analogy for life in that you...
Well, I just about to use that. Boxing is a life changer.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden you hit something you can't even feel, then you hit it, wow, I can, when you achieve something, it's the same in a lot of different things, but boxing is different because it's it's a form of self-defense. It's a form of confidence. When you got confidence and you believe you can do anything. You know, whether you're the world champion, whether you're not, as long as you know you've been working, you've trained hard, and confidence is everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, preparation gives you confidence.
Yeah, that's why I promote it as much as I do on a true crime podcast, just because I see the benefits every day. And the world that we talk about now, like people are not healthy, they're not resilient, they're not they don't handle setbacks. You go for a 3-minute round in the ring, and you'll experience everything in life. You'll have highs, you'll have lows, you'll have fear, you'll have joy, everything.
And don't ever believe that tough guys win other boxers. It's the smart guys that
with the we talked about the celebrities and that you've had some setbacks. One of them being when that first fight when you fought Azuma Nelson, and it was declared a draw, which was I was watching that fight, watching it live, and I was hoping that he would stay on his feet in the last round because I think he put up a good fight. Yeah. But you were so far over, and I was hoping you.
Well, Gary, if you watch the fight, I held him up.
Yeah, well, I
held him up. He was 30 seconds more. He's going down. 2 seconds more. Yeah. I held him. He was gone. I just grabbed him, and I was wrapped right down. I wanted to cuddle him and think, wow, what a great fight. That was something that
he was a good champion. It would have been nice to see him finish on his feet, but you were so far in front from my limited knowledge or my knowledge of boxing.
Gary, I won 9 out of the 12 rounds without any hesitation to me.
Then when it was awarded a draw, and it was devastating for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it changed my life.
Yeah.
I don't believe I was ever the same after it. And Johnny Lewis can testify to this because he'll remember that I went back. And in that fight, may God stand beside me when I say this, I never got hurt once. Yeah. Not one of those punches hurt me, hit me, whatever. After that fight, I went back and we started training again. And I said to Johnny, I was sparring one of the boys, and she said, Johnny, you just rocked me. I said, he goes, you all right? I said, yeah. No, God, no, it's the first time I ever got hurt. When I sparred heavyweights, I sparred the football. Nobody's ever hurt me. And it was a scary situation for me. I'm thinking, why, But like I said, I know exactly why I got knocked out in my last few fights and stuff, because I don't blame Johnny. Yeah. But it's Johnny's fault. Yeah. Because, like I said, Johnny used to let me spar Jeff Harding 10, 12 rounds. I used to spar Alan McNamara 12 rounds. I used to spar Justin I used to spar because none of the small guys could do it. Those guys hit me all those years, and not as much as I hit them. But then all of a sudden it accumulates, and all of a sudden, like I said, I can, hit that with a hammer for like 5 minutes. After the 10 minutes, it's going to start the break. And like I said, I know that's the only thing. I got an article upstairs from the Ring magazine. The best chin in boxing was Jeff Fenech. All of a sudden,
and then once it's gone,
there's no replacement for you. There's a shoulder replacement, knee replacement, hip replacement. There's no chin replacement. Once it's gone, it's gone. And like I said, I'm not one bit embarrassed, Gary, because I've said this all my life. The only way that I ever got that I lost a fight was I got carried out of the ring. I got knocked out. Yeah, I don't want to walk out losing on points. That's not me, Yeah, carry me out. Or also, the other guys,
Well, a lot of boxers say that's their mantra, but not everyone delivers. Yeah. But you certainly delivered. The fight that you said that when you lost, the rematch with Zuma, you learnt so much about yourself and setbacks.
Yeah, like I said, came down, I sat at home, was no phone calls on my own. It was, you learn a lot. Now, like I said, I'm the person I am today because of that. To be honest, I'll say this publicly, I love who I am today. I love that I help people. I love that I change people's lives. And the only reason why I can do that is because I've been through that roller coaster. Yeah. I've changed. It changed my life. So, I'm so happy that it happened, that I'm giving back now. I'm blessed. Like I said, the mums and dads of the kids that I help today help me build what I have, So I'm so happy that I'm giving back. And don't worry, I've got families, fathers and mothers who thank me every day for what I do for their children. I'm not this guy. I don't go out. I don't want any
The accolades for it.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
what
go
you
out
do.
the paper. I do this. I do that.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to do it.
Yeah.
I do it because of the rewards I get mentally through myself. You think, wow, you just changed someone's life. You just helped this young kid. You just gave two people who couldn't afford a bottle of wine. You just paid somebody's bill who could really afford it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think back to me when I was a celebrity, walk into a club in Melbourne, a drink tab that I could buy whatever I wanted all night. And at the time I loved it, and we took advantage of it. But yeah,
Yeah, well, but that's you can see
Yeah.
you can see how people
there's
can
pros and cons to everything.
lose their way with it. A couple of the not in the boxing rings, but the setbacks you had that time that you were stabbed. What was that all about? What happened there?
I got hit with a bottle. I got stabbed with a bottle, and I got stabbed with it. But we were at my restaurant. An argument started. I was only talking to these guys. They got angry first, and
Yeah.
Anyway,
Did they know who you were? Or,
of course they did.
yeah,
We were talking.
Yeah.
We're talking
Right. Okay.
happily,
Yeah.
And then the tones changed, and it turned into a fight. And as I was fighting, another friend of theirs did what most probably any friend would do. Try to protect their friend. I don't hold one bit of a grudge. I know who it was.
Yeah.
I knew who it was then. I know who it is today. If I see him, I'd shake his hand without any doubt. And I would say to him, mate, listen, you look after your friends. Good luck. Yeah, that's great, But like I said, none of that. That's just part of life. And again, that's what built me, made me stronger. Again, that day, I'd love to say this. That day, I had 3 friends of mine sitting in the restaurant, 15 metres away. Do you think they even came to try to help me? They're supposed to be. I brought them cars and everything else. They sat down and watched. Well, their friend in the car behind stopped and helped their friends. My friends were sitting beside me, sat there and watched me.
Yeah.
They're the friends that they're those fake people I told you that were around me, and still want to be around me. To bounce off the success I had.
Well, as you get older, and hopefully we get wiser, but you start to work those ones out, don't you?
Yeah, I speak to Johnny about a few things. Sometimes I tell Johnny I'm a little disappointed in him because some of the things that he taught me that made me a great person, he's betrayed me on.
Yeah.
He's like Johnny's, told me all these things about if one of my mates would have done that, they wouldn't be today, whatever. Johnny knows some of our friends who have done that to me, and I don't mind him still talking to him, but he shouldn't have to try to break my arm to talk to him and do everything else. But I do that because I love Johnny.
Yeah,
I want Johnny to be happy. But like I said,
and look, a relationship that close, and one thing I've learnt about you boxing types, there's a lot of passion, there's anger, so there's falling out, so someone's falling out with this person or whatever, but the true relationships you can always mend.
Yeah, you can. But like I said, there's a big thing, forgiving and forgetting.
Yeah.
One of my great things I've just done, Kerry, I want you to know, I've just stopped social media. I'll get on and have a look, and because of people getting contact with me, I'll just press like or something, but I don't write anything anymore, and I don't reply to people anymore because that was what was ruining my life. Stress. I'd go to bed, I'd think about I want to kill this guy and kill that guy, and want to do this to the people who had said this about me or my family. And since I've closed it, I sleep better at night, and I feel I'm a much better person.
I think we could all do with a dose of that. I don't buy into much of the social media.
Let me just say one thing to all you people out there who are a little like me, who have got a temper, and switch that crap off. I mean, I know it's making people billions of dollars and so, but listen, there's no money that can buy happiness. There's no money in the world that can buy having a stress-free life and being happy. Please believe me when I say that.
My kids taught me a valuable lesson on social media. After I left the cops, when I was in the cops, I was doing high-profile jobs, and so you're in the media. I didn't care whether people liked you or not. You're in the cops. You're doing a job. That was a focus. When I started doing the podcast and the social media comes in, I didn't even know about the social media, but someone had come in and go, "Oh, you're a corrupt cop. You're this. You're that," and attacking me on social media. And you can get 100 good ones and one bad one. You fixate on that bad one and you go,
Oh, yeah.
oh, and my kids had a look. I don't know how to find this on social media, who the dickhead was, and said, have a look at this lunatic that you're angry about. Who gives a fuck what he's saying about you?
Yeah, I know. It's easy to say that too, but
Yeah.
you're similar to me. Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Nobody, but I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're by disrespecting you, they're disrespecting your children.
Yeah.
Your
True.
children are reading. They're saying that about my dad. God love your children for that. But yeah, that my children don't like when somebody says something about me.
Do you have the times when you're out with the profile? I would imagine, do people want to take you on because it's Jeff Fenech?
Oh
Like your son's
shit! I
drunk
went
in
through.
a
I went
pub
through
and-
that. I went through it throughout my career.
Yeah.
I'd be at the bar or club and stuff like that, and there'd be somebody saying something. I've been through it. I've walked down Oxford Street and guys doing karate kicks over my head and fights, and I've been in fights all over Australia. And all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the world. But like I said,
I'll ask you your thoughts on police. And just before, because I was a police officer for so long, you're not going to offend me. I say in the policing, I've met some of the most impressive people and some of the most unimpressive people.
You know what?
What's your take?
Well, Gary, I was blessed when I was a young kid. Police were our enemy.
Yeah.
They stopped us from doing what we wanted to do. I can kick your ass in every now and then or whatever. But then I went to the PCYC and I was blessed, first of all, to meet Brian Chickamore, Pat Jarvis and all those guys. And through them, I met all the Newtown Police Station people who used to come and train with us. Man, it changed my whole life around. Like I said, the majority of them were people like you and I who wanted to come up, train, mix with people. They weren't these guys who would see somebody just doing something that really deserved nothing, except maybe, like, listen, that's not the right thing to do. They're not those people who would go and grab you, throw you on the floor and, handcuff you and then hurt for no reason at all. They would talk to you.
Yeah.
And I honestly got so much respect for the police force today, and not just today, but as you grow, you see what they've got to go through. That's why I think it's so important, Gary, to pick humans that can handle their job. Yeah, they've got to be strong people. Yeah. They've got to be knowledgeable people. They've got to be able to handle the worst situation and the best situation. They've got to be, they've got to be versatile. They've got to know this person can't hurt nobody, so we're not going to hurt them. We're just going to, whatever. Yeah. And that's not hard. Look, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but shit, I can see with somebody within their eyes and in their mannerisms if they want to hurt somebody, if they're just trying to act tough, Yeah. And police got to go through that resume to know what they're doing,
There's a thing called not a thing, de-escalating situations, and you touched on it. I'm not sure if in this part or part one, about the ability to talk to people.
Yeah.
Now, I use this example. Like if someone's coming up, if you're in a pub and if someone comes up to you and what are you looking at? And they clearly want to pick a fight with you. You can de-escalate, go, oh, sorry, mate. And well, what are you looking at? Sorry, mate, I'm just having a bad day. Just I apologise. You can walk away from it. Not easy to do all the time, but there is ways of de-escalating.
Certain people can do it and certain people can't.
And then I saw a lot of cops that always got assaulted. Like, how many times can one cop get assaulted time and time again? Let's have a look at how that cop is talking to people. Like if you go into a pub, the classic one is you go into a pub because someone's been asked to leave. You're standing around the pub with all your mates and the cop walks in, come out or we're going to arrest you. And the bloke's got to arc up because he's got his mates there looking. And if the bloke says, well, want to try, look, you might beat me in a fight. This is a cop talking. You might beat me in a fight, but eventually we're going to get you out of here. I'll call more police. The bloke can look back at his mate. He saves some face, and he'll walk out and laughing at his mates. That's de-escalating.
Well,
That's
Gary, it's the same
conversations.
as in a nightclub. I would love the bouncers.
Yeah.
They see a drunk guy, they just grab him. Listen, just say to him, listen, champ, you're drunk. I'm going to walk you out. When you grab somebody, it's violence. You straight away you turn that switch on somebody. They've got to protect themselves. They want to stick up for themselves. But every person that owns a club or bar or any of that stuff should have those people educated as well. That listen, if they need to be thrown out, throw them out. If they don't, if you talk them, say, listen, mate, you come here every week. You're a little bit drunk this week. Please, we're just going to walk you out. We'll see you next week. You're welcome. They're going to walk out, Gary. If somebody, it makes you fire up as well.
That's right. There's ways of getting around it. Another thing that's come in, and I know you know Danny Greenwell, and you trained Danny, that one punch campaign that Danny got behind.
Yeah,
that was an important thing too, wasn't it? Because you would have seen that. And,
I've seen it many times.
Yeah,
I've seen people in bars and clubs get hit and fall down, hit their head, and it's sickening.
You know the potential danger for it. Just lighten it up a little bit. I researching for the podcast, had a look on online, and I think Billy was actually telling me about it. Billy Dibb, when your place that we're sitting in today was auctioned. Do you want to tell us about that, or is it still too raw and you're still too angry?
No. Well, my daughter and Billy Dibb organised it. Billy will pay back as time goes on. Whenever I'm anywhere where he's doing a talk, I'll tip a bucket of water over his head. I'll get him back every time, and he'll regret doing that. But it was just a shock to me. I was in my undies, just inside, like in a pair of tights. Next thing, the doorbell rings, and I walk outside and see these guys doing what they're doing, and they're blessed. Let me just tell you something. I don't know if I am, because I don't know if anything would have happened to me, because it's their bad luck for playing their prank. But I was very, very close to hurting somebody, and just as it escalated and it was de-escalating when Billy Dibb, I was just about. I didn't care at that time. I was going to. I was going to hit that poor guy. And,
I've seen enough violence, Jeff, and I could see you just clocking the location. Billy Dibb, I call him a mate of yours, a professional fighter that thought it would be a good idea to prank Jeff by setting up an auction outside his house with all the auction signs and the person conducting the auction and bidders and everyone. And Jeff's come out and seen his place that he's owned for a long time and been auctioned right in front of his own eyes. And you watch Jeff's face and he's looking, I'm getting angry. It was like watching the Terminator, tink, 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 who am I going to hit first? And one thing I did like about it was when the bidding went up to $4 million and the last and final bid, $4 million, you're going, fuck that, it's worth $9 million. So you bought into it, and you looked like you were just about to explode before Billy jumped out.
That's all good. Like I said, they got me good there. Like I said, Billy will learn. I hope you listen to this, Billy. You will learn that was the worst thing you've ever done in your life, because everywhere we go, I'll tip a bucket of water over him, or I tell you what, I'll let Billy know. I gave him a lifesaver one day.
Yeah.
It was a Viagra. So you'll get plenty more of that.
He talks about that day. There is something about boxing, and I've often wondered if it's just to take away the pressure or, the tension that goes on if you're a professional fighter. But I hear Johnny talk about, and others talk about all the pranks that go on in boxing. That seems to be a way of passing time.
Well, I think all the guys that Johnny knows obviously train with him and stuff, and Johnny was the biggest prankster out there, so we all got it from Johnny. So we can blame Johnny for that.
That's where it went.
Johnny was always, having fun doing something to somebody. Johnny was famous at signing somebody else's room number to pay for the bill. Johnny was always. Sometimes I think, was it just a prank, or did he just didn't want to pay for it? But I've never seen him pay for anything, so I think
I'll check with him, see if he wants to defend himself.
We used to be in Fiji and stuff, and me, him, and Peter Matreski, we used to be there, and the bill would come out, and Peter's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and the bill would come out to $32, and Johnny would say, "Oh, that's $18 each." Peter would give us $18, and we'd pay the rest together. So Johnny was one of the funniest guys ever.
Looking back at your career, Jeff, or just life, any regrets?
There are plenty.
Yeah,
plenty. But you can't change what's happened, you know. So I just look at them all as a test. All of them as an example. All of them is something that taught me to be better. And would I change it? I would change a million things, but guess what? We can't.
Yeah.
We've got to live with what we've done. We've got to live with the mistakes we've made. We've got to live with the errors that we've made. We've got to live with those mistakes and again learn from them. As long as you are prepared to sit down and admit to, like I said, when people ask me if I done something wrong, if I done it, man, I'm going to put my hand up straight away.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I'm going to let them know I didn't do it as well. I haven't had the chance to do that because I think that sometimes when you do that, it just opens the door again for those keyboard warriors that talk shit about people. So I haven't really worried about that. Like I said, I've been through the roller coaster. I've had people say I've done this and I've done that. I know what I've done. There's one judge and one judge only. It's the mirror.
Yeah.
You can look in that mirror and know what you've done and if you've been a good person. And like I said, my good far outweighs what I've done that's bad. And we've all done good and bad things. And like I said, my life till the day I won't be here, and hopefully that's quite a few years yet, will continue to be better and better and better. I'll continue to help people and continue to make their lives better.
How do you think people look back at you, like Jeff Fenech? Like it's hard for you to say,
I've
but
got the easiest answer. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what people think. But if there's a legacy that I'd like to leave, these have nothing to do with it. It's just as
you're pointing at the
my belts have
belts.
nothing to do with it. I would like them to think that I remember that guy took a photo with me. I remember he signed an autograph for me. I remember he brought me dinner. That's I remember. Yeah, I remember when I said hello to Jeff Fenech. He had all the time in the world for me, and that's the only Jeff Fenech I want people to know. And if they don't want to know that, like I said, they can if they want to say, oh, Jeff Fenech did this, and they can do that because, like I said, guess why they know Jeff Fenech done that? Because, like I said, anything I do is on the front page of the paper or on the paper in the paper. Mate, we don't know what they done. Then they, like I said, and we'll never know what they done because they're nobodies. I've been blessed to become a somebody, and like I said, I've been blessed to own up to any mistake that I made, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like I said, I don't want to change anything. I can't change it. If I could, I would. If I wouldn't have done it, but it's all a lesson.
Yeah.
And listen, for me, when I think about the things I've done, I tell people they're a lesson. They're not a life sentence. People try to give you a life sentence for the one thing you've done wrong, or two things I've done wrong. Whatever I've done wrong, they're not a life sentence to me. They're a lesson. And again, I don't really care what people think about me.
I think it's important people aren't defined by one or two bad things that they've done in their life. They should be judged by their whole life, not what happened before. It's
without that, but not even different. Listen, just so people they can get this message. And I don't swear in podcasts ever, but it's my life's none of your fucking business. If I made a mistake, I made a mistake. You're not the judge. If I got in trouble, I got in trouble. And you can have your own opinion, but you don't need a voice. You don't even know who I am. You know nothing about me. So in short, shut your mouth unless you've been a part of what's happened. If you've just heard or read a story, and not many stories that you read or hear are true. There are three sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and the truth. And not too many people get to hear the truth.
You're training a lot of young fighters and mentoring a lot of people. What's the messaging you're trying to get across to them? What are the key values you want in the people that you're training and mentoring?
Yeah, to listen, to learn. I don't train a lot of people. No, I help a lot of people. Yeah. I'm trying to mentor and be the best mentor I can, and I use my own stupidity and my own actions to make these kids better. But there's only one thing I tell them. I said, listen, every day you leave here, you're going to want to go back. I tell the one thing that I preached to every person. I said, when I used to leave training in the afternoon, it was a bit different than me. I was with Johnny until I went home in the night. But when I left there, I couldn't wait to get back there. I wanted to go back there to show him, first of all, what he taught me the day before that I haven't forgotten. And I wanted to show him that I want to be there more than anything else. I want to, there's nothing more I wanted in life than to be there, because that was life changing. That changed my life. So I just wanted to be there. I wanted to be around that man 24/7. If I could have slept in the same bed with Johnny every night, I would have done that every night for my entire career. It sounds weird, but Yeah, that's how close I was to him. We had dinner every night together. We had breakfast every day together. And like I said, the only thing we didn't do was sleep. I mean, sleep together every night. But if I had the opportunity, and I was in the same room as him, I would have loved that as well. I would have loved waking up beside him. I would have loved going to bed while he was there. Like I said, that man changed my life.
Yeah.
My life is what it is today because of Johnny Lewis. And it's a crazy thing to say because I've got parents too that I love and respect. But Johnny certainly was that person who changed my life. My parents obviously gave me the platform and they gave me the opportunity to be who I wanted to be. Johnny made me be that person.
It's so many people. Like it only if you can have one good person in your life, it can make the world a difference, can't it?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And you know
like
what?
your situation with Johnny, but there's others. Just
Yeah,
one.
and let me
good
just say
person.
one more thing really quickly. Sometimes there aren't just one person. Sometimes you can't find one person, I look at some of my friends and I think, how Warney,
Yeah.
was just such a great human. He was, he was,
You're talking Shane Warne.
Shane Warne. Yeah, he was just somebody who could adapt to anybody.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. Like people say, oh, Warney this, Warney that. But the Warney I knew was the most generous, best person in the world that, would just wanted to pass on everything that he had to everybody else. And I look at, and one of the reasons why I bring up Warney today, I look at his daughter and his son.
Yeah.
I think, wow, man, what he's left behind is the greatest legacy ever.
Yeah.
He would be so. Well, he is proud. He knows.
He'd be proud.
Yeah, he would be the proudest man in the world if he was here today to see what his family have done and what he's done with him.
Yeah. Well, something I'm taking away from the chat with you is that you see how fortunate you are and you want to give back. And I just, what you're talking about, helping people and mentoring people, steering people in the right direction. So full credit to you. But
and I do it for one reason. I don't do it because for any other reasons that I want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody to thank me. How many people I give things to. I'm going to buy a startup. Please don't put on it. I just do it because I want to do it. Yeah. So, I know I'm talking to you about it because I'm doing this podcast. I want your podcast to be great. But yeah, I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I do because I want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting looking at all that you've achieved, the highlights, and just the extraordinary life you've got. But the takeaway point I'm getting from our discussion is that you get more joy from helping people than any of the stuff that you've achieved. That looking from the outside and going, wow, look at all these belts, look at the success you had, the people that you've met. But when it all comes down to it, it means nothing unless you're living a good life and enjoying the person you are.
Happiness is everything. I'm so happy with who I am today.
Yeah.
Like I said, there were times when I was 3-time world champion that when I think of that guy, I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate the privileges that he had, and I hate that he took those privileges. And I don't like that guy. The guy that you're talking to today, I'm very, very proud to say that's the real Jeff Fenech. That's the Jeff Fenech that I want to show the world. That's the guy that I really am.
Okay. Well, that might be a good way to finish. Thanks very much, Jeff. Enjoyed the chat, as I always do. Always interesting, but thanks for making the time.
Nah, thank you for having me, and hopefully people sit down and listen to this and think, wow, there's a few things that I can take from it, make you better people.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks, Jeff.